welcome to Mumazing Gaming. I'm Mumazing. Hold on to your bee hats because BSIM has given us the most awesome update so far. We now have crafting and we also have an amazing Easter event. I'm going to show you all the best tips, tricks, recipes and loadouts that you're going to need to get through this event, and it's going to be awesome. Here we go. You'll probably start in the hive right here anyway, but look, we have this amazing Easter event right here. Look at that, there's a portal that takes you to an Easter world. Let's go in. Welcome to the Easter event world. We have 3 different types of flowers in here. These are called egg flowers. We have blue ones right here called the excellent egg. They have 10 hit points. Over here we have the excited egg, 25 hit points, and that's a yellow one. And then over here we've got the extra special egg. This has 50 hit points and it's purple. Now the way this works is that you take 1 hit point of damage to the flower. Once it's completely drained, it will then pop and you will get a shell. Now it's a 100% chance to drop a shell right now. It used to be 25%, but now it's 100%. So basically you can pop these and you will get a blue shell, a yellow shell or a purple shell. What you do is you take any 2 of those shells and you combine them to make eggs. There are 5 tiers of eggs all the way up to some very awesome eggs. There are 3 eggs in every tier, so you've got to combo these in so many different ways to get all of the eggs from this event world. This event will be finishing in just a few days, so it's only a limited time event. But once you've got these and you've combined all the eggs, they will give you some pretty awesome boosts and buffs. Let me just show you one of them right now. I have a secret egg right here. This is a tier 5. It's the very best egg in the game, and this gives me a 1% critical chance on my hits. Speaking of critical chance, there is a critical hit system as well. So you can do some awesome damage and pop flowers in one go. Really cool. So that is how it works. You just hit one of these. Doesn't matter how strong you are here. You'll only do 1 hit point of damage. Once it's done, it'll pop. And you will see a little icon if you don't already have for the shell that is the same color as the egg flower you popped come up on the right hand side of your screen at the bottom. Alright, let's take a look at the actual inventory on YNAW Wiki. The official wiki for the game shows you all the different eggs and combos you will need to combine them and get all of the different buffs that you can from the Easter event. Alright, here we go. Easter event. As you can see, you've got 3 different eggshells. It does still say 25% chance to obtain the shell from the drop, but actually it's been moved to 100%. In the tier 1 eggs, we have a radiant, a vibrant, and a silly egg. That's a combination of the yellow and purple, yellow and blue, and purple and blue eggshells. So basically every combo of color of 2 of those eggshells will combine to make the radiant, vibrant, and the silly egg. Tier 2 eggs are the illustrious, the courageous, and the immaculate. Tier 3 eggs are the bronze, silver, and gold. Tier 4 eggs are the platinum, titanium, and emerald. And tier 5 eggs are the bonus, the mystery, and the secret egg. Obviously the tier 5 ones are the best, but as you can see, it'll tell you how many of each type of shell you will need and the total shell cost for actually combining and making those individual eggs. So trivia, it has at the bottom of the YNAW Wiki as well. It costs a total of 43 blue eggshells, 38 yellow eggshells, and 45 purple eggshells to obtain all 15 eggs, or 126 eggshells in total. The Easter event was released in conjunction with the items update, which I'm about to show you, since it had items of its own. So that is that right there. And now we're back to the game. So this is the world, and this is all you have to do. It's actually really cool. You got this giant bunny here. It's a really nice looking little Easter world. So get to combining all of those shells and eggs and see what you can get from them. I have every single egg and shell in the game in my inventory. Oh, also, really good pro tip, try and get a bunch of friends to play this with you. Try and find really full servers where people are doing this, because the more people that are actually working on each of these together, the faster you will get through this, because 50 hit points on one of these will take a little time, but if you've got a whole bunch of you working on the same one, you'll all get that reward when it drops. Alright, let's head back to the hive. As we said before, there is a brand new update for items and critical hits in this game, and it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to get used to. It's very, very different. We're going to start all the way over in Meadows right now, so let's go in. There is something in the first 6 worlds you need to know about before we do anything else. There is one of these. This is called a mole hole. So basically every 10 minutes, starting at the top of the hour, a mole will be in one of these worlds. The first 10 minutes it will be in the meadows. In the second 10 minutes of the hour it will be in mountains. In the third 10 minutes of the hour it will move to the oasis, right here. At 40 minutes it'll move to Atlantis, and here it is right there. 50 minutes it will move to the underworld, and the last 10 minutes of the hour it will move to the swamp. And as you can see, it's right here in the swamp. Look at this cute little guy. If you have a chat to him, he'll have an item to sell you. This is where items come in. So I already have a stinky sock in my inventory, but you could buy a stinky sock if you wanted to if you were in the swamp. Every area up to the first 6 areas has its own unique item that the mole will sell you, and you can use those to combine with other items which come from flower drops. You can get those items and combine them and you will get some awesome things. It's a big system, but the way it works is that every world has one unique item that it can drop. You can only equip one of any type of item from any world at a time. You can't have multiples of them. So all you do is put a flower and then it will drop an item. It'll show up in the bottom right hand side of your screen. Then if you click on the items tab, you will see all of the items that you've picked up. With every world having one unique item to drop, in this world you will get yourself a frog slime. I'll show that in my inventory to you right now, and here is the frog slime for this world. It gives you 2x sell in swamp. Every world's unique item will give you a 2x sell for that world. But if you go to Meadows, you'll get a lucky coin. That lucky coin will give you 2x sell in Meadows, and so on and so forth. Frog slime is one of the most used items for crafting recipes in the game. You're going to need it to make a bubbling acid right here. Think of the Mentos experiment where you put a Mentos in a bottle of Coke. Well, this is kind of what this is right here. The bubbling acid is one of your most crafted recipes. You will need a peppermint from Candy World combined with a frog slime right here in Swamp, and the two will make a bubbling acid. You'll be surprised how many of these you will actually need. Speaking of what you will need to actually do this event and craft all the items, you're going to need to get to Fairy Tale at least. So you're going to need to be able to evolve. Also, working in teams with your friends means you can chop down these flowers faster to get the craftable items. So you definitely need to be able to get through this. Candy World is one of the most used places as well, because you're going to need the peppermints from here. Peppermints is the most used item in the game, believe it or not. And then in here in Fairy Tale, you will need to get a broken wand. Broken wand is really important because it helps you craft an essence. Wow, this is a lot of information for you to take in. But if you ever get stuck, you can go to the YNAW Wiki page, the official wiki for this game, and you can check out all the different recipes and combos there. Crafting is such an awesome thing, but there are a few game mechanics I want to run over with you right now. So let's go back to Candyland. In here we have this, looks like a washer. It's actually a purifier. Let's take a look at my inventory. As you can see, I've got a lot of things in there. You can only purify one item at a time, so make sure you use an empty loadout slot to place your item that you want to purify. Why is purifying important? Because purifying purifies an object into an essence, which can then be used to evolve into a pendant through crafting. Also, you can create a cheap tricks as well, which is a really important item in the game. If you head over to Fairy Tale right here, you will see that there is this. This is actually a sacrifice. If you click on it here, you can sacrifice an equipped item, and what it will turn into is an unruly gem. An unruly gem is like, I don't know, a bad gem. A gemstone can be used to create pendants, but an unruly gem needs to be purified. So you need to take that unruly gem, and we're actually going to demonstrate that right now. Let's go to my inventory. I'm going to take a really basic tier 1 item. Here is a starfish. A starfish is from Atlantis. It's a tier 1 drop. You can get it from any of the flowers. And yeah, we're going to put this right now in an empty slot. Then I'm going to go and sacrifice it. Sacrifice an equipped item. Done. You'll notice I've got a brand new item in the corner of my screen. Let's take a look at it. It's an unruly gem. It does have a debuff right there, but we're not going to do that with it. We want to cleanse this gem. So we're going to show you how the purifier works. The purifier is in Candy World, and here it is. It looks like a giant washing machine. I'm going to purify the item I have, and now I have a new item. There we go. It's now a blank gem. Now a blank gem can take an essence, any one of these things right up here, and if I combine it with one of these essences, it will become a gem of that essence. So I can get a gem of the past, a gem of time, a gem of shadow, a gem of pressure, a gem of nothing, a gem of everything, a gem of gold, a gem of magic, and so on and so forth. I think I've got another one down here, a gem of water. So yeah, you can combine them and it will become a gem. After that, you will need to get yourself an item from the mole when it's in Underworld, which is an empty pendant. You combine that with the gem, and then you will have one of these awesome pendants right here, depending on what you want. So there's a pendant of everything, pendant of fraud, pendant of light, pendant of the land, pendant of time, magic, past, sea, so many different pendants. And then you can equip those in your item inventory in one of your loadout slots like this. I've got 2 in there, 1 in there, and 1 in there, and that is how you equip your items. In your items, you really can only equip 3 different things. You can see I've got in this loadout slot, I've got an egg from the Easter event, I've got a diamond I crafted, and I've got a pendant of darkness. So speaking of loadouts, why are loadouts important? Because they're a multiplier on top of a multiplier. Those 3 items will multiply together to give you awesome boosts or buffs. So let's take a look at my loadouts right now. My first loadout is one to do with selling. I have a golden apple which gives me a 4 times sell, a pendant of everything that gives me a 5 times sell, and a pendant of the past which gives me a 10 times sell in meadows. It will only work in meadows, but altogether it is 4 times 5, which is 20, times 10, which is 200, plus my evolution, universe B, multiply again by 10, so that's 2000, plus I also have 2 times sell pass, so that's 4000. There we go, double honey. Gain twice as much honey from the pollen you sell. There we go. So that is a total of 4000 on top of whatever I have in my inventory bar, pollen bar down the bottom. And I'm going to show you how much I get by doing the sell on that one loadout in a minute. But first, let's take a look at the rest of my loadouts. My second loadout is the one that I use when I'm grinding a flower. This one here is about critical damage. So you know that there are new critical hits. They are incredible, they're awesome. Take a look at me critical hitting the lobelia flower in Sakura right here. Look at the effect. It's amazing how the red lines just kind of swirl out. It looks really cool. And basically you can one-shot really, really powerful flowers and they give you super amounts of pollen. I have 5 times critical damage with the pendant of fraud. The ice pack gives me 4 times critical damage. So that's a total of 20 times critical damage. And then I have a secret egg, which is a tier 5 egg from the Easter event, which is a 1% critical chance. You start off with a base of 1% critical chance anyway, so that becomes a 2% critical chance of actually having the critical damage attack work. So that is my third item there. I could swap this out if I wanted to, and I could put on a pendant of the sea. That gives me 3 times critical damage. So all up, I have 5 times 4 is 20, times 3 is 60 times critical damage. So when I pop a flower with this setup, I can easily get 20 trillion pollen, just like that. The average pollen that I get is around 6 trillion pollen if I have the secret egg attached to it instead, but I have more chance of actually popping flowers with this setup. So that is my loadout for critical hits on the flowers. Okay, and this is my quest reward setup for my loadout. So I've got times 3, and times 2. So that's 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18 quest reward. So in the very best area, which is Sakura, if I cash in my quest reward, I will get 4 quadrillion for the quest instead of 270 trillion. It's a huge difference, and having these loadouts is really, really helpful. The last loadout I have is to do with the monster flower, but I don't really use it a lot. I have times 3 monster flower reward, 5 times critical damage, and 5 times a monster flower reward. I'm not sure if this has been patched yet. It wasn't working before, but I'm hoping it is already starting to work, so can't wait to try that one out. So some of the key recipes that you're going to need is to make a golden peppermint. It's one of the most important items in the game. A golden peppermint is used to make Cheap Tricks. Cheap Tricks is like your Uno Reverso card if you play that. What it does is it takes an effect of an item and it reverses it, or gives it an opposite. So for a good example of that, I have some hand warmers. Now hand warmers are an item from the mole that visits the mountains area. You can get that on the second 10 minutes of every hour. Hand warmers. If you combine that with Cheap Tricks, it will turn into an ice pack. So it's like the opposite effect right there. Hand warmers to ice pack. That's an example of how Cheap Tricks works. But you will need a lot of peppermints, a lot of frog slime. You'll have to make plenty of bubbling acid. Combine that with a lucky coin, which will turn into an essence of gold that you can then combine with the peppermint one more time, which will give you the golden peppermint, and then you take that golden peppermint and you go over to here and you purify that peppermint and it will turn into Cheap Tricks. You'll need to use a lot of Cheap Tricks in this game. The broken wand is a really important item as well. It comes from Fairy Tale, and if you take it to the purifier, it will turn into an essence of magic. One of the really important essences you will also need in the game. So all you do is take this, load it into an empty slot, and then use a purify on it, and it will turn into an essence of magic. There are loads of recipes in this game, lots of different combinations, and there's a full list on the YNAW Wiki page right here. Look at all these items you can combine. It shows you what your materials are, what the effects are, how to craft them. There's a full list in here, essences, gems and pendants, and general combinations as well. So much there to check out. You're going to have a lot of fun doing this. But guess what? It's not over. It is definitely not over. Not by a long shot, because another 60 items are going to be added for a total of 150 craftable items coming out in the next update. Wow, we're going to have to take what we already have in our inventories and do even more crafting to try and figure out what we can discover. So far, I've collected pretty much everything except for filling all of these essences into gems and crafting the essences again. I have every item in the game. Look at all those. It takes a lot of work, but it is totally worth it because you're going to end up with so much more honey. You'll be able to afford all your evolutions, all of your strength upgrades, everything. So let's talk strategy right now. I am going to show you some strategy. First, we're going to switch to my cell strategy right here. 4 times cell, 5 times cell, 10 times cell and meadows. So I've got that equipped, and now we're just going to go to that area. Best way to go to avoid accidentally hitting a cell area is to go through the hive. Just pop over here to meadows. As you can see, I've got 632.95 trillion in my inventory right now, but I have 4,000 times cell on that if I use this loadout. So let's sell. Wow, 2.77 quintillion. That's a lot. If I go up here, I can add it to strength if I want. Costs a lot, but I'm already level 224. So let's just do this. I am now 233 in strength. Pretty crazy. And now I've run out again. But it won't take me long to grind once more by using a combination of my different loadouts. So when I'm grinding on the flower, I use this combo right here. Pendant of Fraud, Ice Pack and Secret Egg. When I go to claim my quest reward, I go to my third loadout, which is a combination of Diamond, Pendant of Darkness and Platinum Egg. And when I go to sell and convert my pollen into honey, I go to my first loadout, which is my Golden Apple, Pendant of Everything and Pendant of the Past, and I do that in meadows only. So those are my go-to loadouts. That's how I get the most of my pollen converted to honey. That's how I can afford to upgrade and buy all the skins and get all the things. It's really, really awesome. Also, there are codes, of course, codes released with the game. Just click on here. You can use my code Mumazing. I've already used it, but if you haven't already used it, you can use that right now. Remember, the higher your evolution, the more you're going to get from using these codes. Use code Easter for another reward. I've already used that too, so you can go ahead and use that one. And there's so much more coming. It's incredible. I hope you do enjoy this video. If you did, throw a like on it. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss any more of my content. And we're gonna catch you again next time for Mumazing Gaming. Goodbye!